Good morning. My name's Olivia. I'm known as Olivia K on Facebook, Ollie K on Instagram, and Warm Yam 9000 on Reddit. I cover nursing related topics that's going to help you for the NCLEX and nursing school. I also have a tease playlist. I know the videos are wicked old, okay? They were made probably before I was looking to nurse school, but I think that the information can still help you and benefit you in any way. If it doesn't, I mean, there are many Facebook groups and places where you can get like help with teas or HESI stuff. But I have that there in case people are able to get maybe some information from the playlist. I also go over reality TV show reactions. I do have oh my god, I'm so blurry. Oh Jesus Christ. Okay, I have a Love is Blind playlist from seasons 1 to 10. I'm not going to cover any more seasons after that, just because I think the series is tired to me. I'm kind of tired of it. It's the same old bullshit, and I think some of it's manufactured. I have other reality TV playlists my reactions if you're interested. And then I do also cover documentaries. I have a whole playlist on that. And then I do cover like opinion pieces. So they're if you're watching this on Monday, Friday came out with the opinion piece with the difference between the nursing titles and the politics of it, which is kind of ridiculous. But you all know how I feel by now because you've seen that video by now. So that's that. And that's about it. That's my spiel. So, today I'm covering arterial and venous blood. It is super important because I'll tell you why. When I did nursing school, I used to always confuse PAD and PVT. PVD rather, not PVT. PVD. Michael Jackson reference. The thing is, we tend to forget from A and P because we're trying to pass a course so bad, the lessons that we're supposed to take and then apply to nursing topics like nursing anatomy and physiology stuff, or rather diagnoses. And it's very easy to forget that when you don't know the difference between the two. So I messed up with PAD and PVD many times. And I got a lot of those questions wrong when I was taking like the ATIs, and I hate ATI with passion, so don't get me started with that one. And then with practice questions, so it's very easy to confuse it. So this is for nursing school students, for people taking NCLEX, and just for people that want to know the difference, because it's very important, especially if you're going to be doing NCLEX questions, because I know they might have some questions on that, and NCLEX can ask you anything, and honestly, you can never be too prepared for it. So it's just important to understand this topic. So let's get into it. So the difference, it's very, like I said, it's very easy to confuse the two because this is blood tissues we're dealing with, right? You can tell the bloods apart, believe it or not, by their color, the flow rate, and the pressure, okay? So with arterial, it carries oxygen-rich blood, and it carries away. So away. If you think arterial starts with A, away starts with A, away from the heart, okay? And it's typically bright red. So it's oxygen rich, so meaning it's going to be very, very red, right? It makes sense. So there are different memory tricks for a person to know when it comes to differentiating the two. For me personally, this is what I remember when it comes to arterial blood. See the blood's bright red, right? Bright B. I always think of this as B is above the D in the alphabet. So this will make sense once I get into venous, okay? So it's going to be higher pressure, therefore, and then the pulse will be present. So an example of an artery, obviously like your radial, right? It's right there. This little cute thing right there. Yeah, don't pay attention to the Fitbit, but that's that, okay? And then I'm going to skip over to venous. So venous carries oxygen poor rich blood, and it's going towards the heart, right? Because it needs to be oxygenated and whatnot, and it's going to help with the blood flow. it's going to be typically dark. So now hopefully this is going to make sense to you again. D is below B in the alphabet. So see how I said D dark, and D is like a little bit down the alphabet from the letter B. I don't know if that's going to make sense to you. If it doesn't, that's okay. Just skip it. But that's how I remembered it back in nursing school, and somehow it took me a while to figure it out. So it's going to have lower pressure and no pulse is going to be present. So your peripheral veins. So let me show you a quick, well, I don't think I can show you because I have my camera, but if you're to check your pulse, you can check it with the radial, 2 fingers. And if you're like trying to look for your peripheral, like check for a vein, you don't often exactly like, you can't exactly feel it easily. You have to like kind of like, well, with venipuncture, right? It's going to feel elasticy, but unlike a pulse, you will automatically like feel it when you put your finger there, and boom, boom, boom. With veins, it kind of takes you a little more work because you have to feel it's more elastic, and it's kind of like not that easy available to like feel unless you're like an athletic man, or people who are able, you can see their veins. Lucky sons of guns. Those were my easier sticks, actually. The ones that had veins where it's like kind of deep, like mine, where you had to work hard to get at it. Anyways, that's a separate story. Okay, but that's basically what how you'll know the difference. Okay. So now in the case of PAD and PVD, so let me tell the difference between the two. So it's going to be easy. This part's going to be easier for you to understand, okay? So with PAD, the arteries are affected, right? Because peripheral artery disease, right? We're talking about the arteries. So the symptoms you're going to see is leg pain with these patients when they're walking. And then they have weaker pulses, but because the pulses are supposed to be stronger because they have more pressure, right? Way more pressure. Anyone who does home care or works in a hospital or rehab, you will see patients with shiny legs, right? Shiny legs, no hair there, delayed capillary refill. So which is why it's so important you check your capillary refills when you're doing your assessments, and non-healing ulcers. Okay, so that's the difference. So the treatment for peripheral artery disease or deficiency is disease, actually. The treatment let me do an easier memory trick here. So I'm going to put my 2 fingers down. So see how it marks an A, right? So the thing is, you want your legs to be down because it will be relieved, right? It's going to be relieved once you rest. So A down, the legs must be down when you're doing PAD for the treatment. Now PVD, peripheral venous disease, or I like to say disease. So for PVD, the veins are affected. Again, the vein is in the name. The veins is more venous injury to it. The skin's warm. So there's a difference. Like with PAD, the skin is rather cool, right? It's cooler. But with PVD rather, the legs are warm. There's edema. Then you see the brown discoloration. So see, there's a difference. With AD, you're going to see ulcers on the leg. With PVD, you just see discolorations and venous diseases near the ankle. So the pain mostly you'll see with elevation, I'm seeing. So that's no bueno either. So with PVD is opposite of PAD. So you're going to take your 2 fingers like this. So see if one's a V. So the legs have to be elevated. So the pain will be relieved when you put it up, if that makes sense. So there's your difference between the two. But I hope that does help with the difference between PAD and PVD. And now we know the difference between veins and veins and arteries. So it's very, very easy to confuse the two, like I said, if you don't know your A&P. So I'm going to leave Simple Nursing. I believe he does a damn good job explaining this than I do. So in case you didn't get anything on my video, you can also check out Simple Nursing. He has amazing videos if you need more nursing school or NCLEX help as well. He's great. And then also I recommend Level Up RN and Registered Nurse RN. Great creators. Anyways, I am going to get ready to go and do my nails soon. My nails look sad and gross. So I will see you later and take care. Bye.